DUI. Do your own research. What's that?
You said it wrong. You said DUI. That's
DUI.
driving under the influence.
Whoa, don't do that, y'all. Don't do that.
Do your DYOR.
DYOR. I don't know why. You popping it off?
It don't matter.
Go right ahead. Come on with some energy, bro. Come on. Come
All
on.
right. Yo, what's happening? Episode 1, I guess, of the Circle of Thoughts podcast. Yeah, this is our first episode. You know, we're just getting started. We're noobs at this.
Yeah.
Amateurs. So this is our very first recording.
Yeah, so if you hear us stuttering or just losing our train of thought, that's why.
Us. Yeah. So here we are.
Here we are.
Circle of Thoughts podcast. We don't know what we're talking about. We're just going with the flow.
February 16th, 2 days after Valentine's Day. How was your Valentine's? It was straight. You get any flowers?
It was all right. No, I got some candy and
stuff. Did you give flowers?
Yeah.
You gave flowers?
Yeah.
But Valentine's Day is crazy, man.
It's just
I read this thing.
Consumerism.
Yeah, I heard this thing yesterday. It was like, Valentine's Days are for mediocre men to seem above average, and then above average men who don't give their women anything to seem mediocre. Like, if I'm being honest, I'm in a long distance relationship, and I couldn't give my partner anything. You know what I'm saying? I could have maybe got some flowers delivered to her, this and that, but I wasn't really into that myself. So she didn't get anything Valentine's Day from me.
Dang.
For real, bro. I mean, I told her I loved her, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I'm very old school. So like, I like to just do things like in person, like see things, like talk to people in person instead of like through the phone and whatnot.
Yeah. I mean, you can make the argument though, like you said, you could call someplace nearby and have them delivered.
I ain't gonna lie. I did look into it. They're like $125 for like less than around half a dozen flowers. For $125, bro, I'm straight. I will go to the damn.
I actually looked at the average in the U.S. What do you know what it is? Half a dozen.
Half a dozen. I'll guess.
Actually do it
I'll guess and say $125. That's what
$100.
$100.
That's the average
for
in
6
the US.
Flowers.
For 6 roses.
6 roses.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's a good bit.
It is.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not a woman, so I guess I don't understand the appeal to receiving flowers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I still give them. I do give flowers, but
yeah,
I don't see the appeal too much.
Yeah, I mean,
I guess it's not for me, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, just the other day we had senior night, and I had to go out and buy 9 flowers. I think I spent it was like $19 for 9 roses.
$19?
Yes, at Walmart. This was back in November when we had senior night. But it's just crazy how like any business would do that. You know what I'm saying? If it's like your time to make money, like florist, like
they bring it up
price
a
little
bit.
bit. Yeah, make more money. Like that's their time to shine, pay their bills and all that.
Yeah,
makes
sense.
Yeah, but yeah, I didn't. Actually, I got something, but I wasn't actually giving it. Like apparently, Kira got some tickets. If you can guess, if anybody can guess, it's for real. And tell me, let me know in the comments, because if you get this right here, bro, I'll give you $100. She got us some concert tickets. Guess who they're for?
I mean, is it someone I wouldn't know, or is
they're definitely like mainstream. It's an artist, and it's a 1-person band, or so it's 1-person artist. It's an artist.
Is it male or female?
I'm giving you more than I should, but it's a male. You're still not gonna even get it.
I could guess it at some point. I mean, I'll do a random guess, but then don't tell me, and I want to get more hints as we go.
Okay, that's fair.
So my first guess off of it just being, you're saying a band, so you're kind of throwing me off. And saying
that's
it's a 1 person.
That's why I had to change it. It's an art. He's an artist.
So is the artist goes by their name, or they have a group name?
Nah, bro. You asked me more questions. I just answered.
You're not giving me enough.
Just guess a male singer.
Pitbull.
All right, wrong. You want to know who it is?
No, I want to keep guessing. So is the name of the group the person's actual name, or is it a stage name?
No, that's his actual name.
It's they go by their name.
Yeah.
Are they older, like an adult, like over 40, or like under
40?
Under 30?
I would think so.
Shawn Mendes.
Close. So someone similar to him, his type of music. A little bit older than him, I think. His first name has 2 letters in it.
His first name?
Yeah.
I have no clue.
Ed.
Oh,
Ed
you
Sheeran.
can go back home and watch him.
Yeah, so that's my gift. Obviously, I wasn't there because we're like 5 hours apart, so I couldn't get my gift. But I mean, I do intend on giving her or like taking her out to eat when I am with her. You know what I'm saying, but it's hard to do something for someone on Valentine's Day when you're not really there with them. But yeah, she got us some Ed Sheeran tickets. When she told me that, I was like,
Wait, so you're going to watch Ed Sheeran, or she already watched?
yeah, she got us tickets to go.
When and where?
In Florida, like around the middle of May.
She likes Ed Sheeran like that.
Yeah,
I haven't heard any stuff from him in a while.
yeah. There's a few songs that whenever they come on, she'll be singing it. I'll be like, "Go, Kira, go." I'm just kidding.
So the plane, not plane, the train.
Train. Well, yeah, that train situation is wild.
There's been a few. So the big one is in Palestine. I
East
want to say
Palestine.
okay. That's like the country, but I don't know if they're pronouncing the U.S. city that way.
I think they are.
Are they?
Yeah, I heard on the news.
I only saw one person talk about like on something, and they didn't pronounce like that, and I was like, whoa, because where we live at. I hope that didn't just mess up because the other day that noise happened. I don't know. Whatever. Anyways, so there's Houston, Texas, but in our city there's a street named Houston.
Houston
Spelled
Road.
the same, but the different pronunciation.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Anyways, Palestine.
East Palestine, Ohio, is where that train crashed at. It's crazy, honestly.
So they have apparently like people were getting like headaches because again they crashed with like chemicals or something like that or just a bunch of stuff. I don't know. I looked into it a little bit, but not too much. And I saw one lady, she was talking online about how all her chickens and livestock, just all her livestock died, like it just
Crazy.
dead. So
Imagine living there, like you see your animals dying. Like I'll be thinking about myself next because your livestock's dead. Like what am I going to end up being like that too?
yeah, I mean you would think I don't remember the exact bird, but I think there was a point in time where coal miners or someone, I don't know, they would take a bird, I can't remember the name or this whatever it is, they would bring it and then the bird would like sing or make a noise or something when it detected, I believe, carbon monoxide or something.
Okay.
Basically, people were saying like, okay, that's kind of like, okay, if you've seen your animals dying,
Then you gotta
probably should like,
Yeah, it was crazy because I actually heard about it. There's actually a movie that was made a few years ago.
that Netflix thing.
Well, where the Ohio town.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, basically, there's a movie based in Ohio where a train. We can't speak today.
No,
A train crashed and spilled chemicals, and the whole city had to evacuate, and they were like trying to evacuate. It was like a whole mess. It was a movie, they're trying to like fight to basically get out of the city. And like this right here has actually happened in real life where this train derailed, flipped, spilled like 5 carts. I think they're called carts.
something like that.
Cars of
They're cards, I think.
I think it's car. They call them cars. Train car or whatever.
Whatever they are.
The big old things filled with like biochemical weapons. Where's that? With the substances that are very hazardous.
Yeah, that's what they say.
And then they ended up burning it, and by burning it,
well,
actually made it transform into another thing, right?
yeah. So I did read into it a little bit. I said I didn't, but I did actually a little bit. You just reminded me. So the option was the chemicals, if they let them sit there, right, they would have been taken in one way in terms of like the environment,
yeah,
and then the surrounding humans, animals, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then if they burn them, it would be something else, right? So I think it's kind of like neither of them was good, but one was better, and the one that was better was burning them.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, in the long run, as far as what they said, burning it was better or was healthier, or whatever the case was in that particular situation. And apparently the company, I don't know if it was like if it was a railroad or whatever, they were going to donate. They said, we're going to donate $25,000 or something like that to help. And I think they were saying that this company, like, they have like millions and millions in revenue.
Oh.
I think maybe billions.
Yeah, they have a lot
I
of
can't
money.
remember what it was, but I don't know. I think I saw also something about BlackRock being associated with them.
Yeah, BlackRock is the third biggest stakeholder in that company. And the company of the railroad is Norfolk
Yeah.
Railway. And
But then there was another thing a few days later with another train.
In South Carolina or Texas?
Was there two? I think there was a few now.
I
They were trying to
heard that
talk
there was
about.
3 in one day, all from the same company.
Well, the weird thing is, I mean, I guess like there's always stuff going around, like
Always.
happening, like in regards to anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I saw a girl post on Facebook that I went to high school with. Her dad, where we live at, there's actually there's like a railroad system here, and
Yep.
there's a lot of people employed by them. And she was saying she asked him about it, and he was saying it actually happens all the time. There's always like derailments with trains. It's just you don't see it or see it talked about for whatever reason. And I mean, it just gets you thinking, right? Like what?
What
I guess
happens
maybe
that we don't know about?
yeah, maybe they're talked about now because they're derailments with, like you said, with chemicals and different stuff, or maybe there's a reason they're like making a big deal about it. Same thing like with the UFO and the balloon stuff.
I was talking about that
lately.
next.
That's been like really odd. And like
This is what's really odd to me is the first one was supposed to be a Chinese balloon, right?
yeah, they were saying it was
And
a weather
they
balloon.
let it float for like I think it was like 2 or 3 days. They were putting it on the news, people could see it. Hey, Chinese balloon. They were saying it's Chinese.
Yeah,
Let it float for like 2 days. They were like mainstream like following this story, you know? And then they shut it down, whatever. And then just recently, there's actually 2 more that they found in Canada. Or my fault. It was Alaska, in parts of Alaska. And this time they didn't show the public. They literally just shut them down immediately. So my big thought is like, why, allow that first balloon, say it's Chinese, and allow it float for like 2 or 3 days, have the whole United States see it, follow the story, and then shoot it down. And then the following week, 2 more incidents happen. They just shoot them down immediately.
yeah.
Like, what's gonna happen next? Like, what are they actually gonna shoot down for real? They're gonna say it's a UFO?
Well, they were saying that there was like a UFO in Canada they shot down, and they weren't able to recover it because it hit the ground, hit the ice. Or
They
something
said
like
that.
Yeah, that was
See,
another thing. You didn't see that?
I didn't see that. I didn't.
Yeah, no, that was something else that happened
That's
like
crazy.
recently. But I haven't looked into this, but people were saying again, you can only speculate, right? You never know anything for sure until you actually do. They were saying the Jeffrey Epstein stuff, that they were going to release
Yep.
names or maybe just
Like
make
more
public
information about
more
it.
information about everything. And
I've seen that too.
yeah, that's what they're saying. A lot of the stuff is actually going on for, so they can
That's really what happens. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna get too in detail, but I think, for instance, whenever this Epstein thing was really going on, that's when C-19 got really big. If you don't know what C-19 is, then Google it. Yeah, I know some people would be like, "Arr." But yeah, now that that's out of the way, and this Epstein thing, and honestly, it's much bigger than people actually really understand. Like, it's, I mean, we could talk. I could go really in
So
depth
apparently,
about
it's documents for that contains the names of associates, victims, and employees connected to Epstein. Yeah, and it's a big report and a bunch of documents that are going to get released.
So they were going to release it, but instead they wanted to do this UFO.
Well, they're still
going to
release it, but I guess the speculation is that less people will look into it or talk about it if they're talking about all this other stuff over here.
It's crazy. Like, Bill Gates and his wife got divorced, and she was talking about it. Melinda Gates was talking about, oh, hey, yeah, I had dinner with him. Oh, and Bill's actually met him on several occasions. And whenever this got really big, Bill got interviewed by somebody, and they said, oh, I only met him one time. That was it. And his wife saying, oh, he met him several times.
I didn't see anything about that. So
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy they're getting divorced.
They've been divorced.
Well, I just found it out the other day, but I found it out by watching a video
I think
of
they've been
her
divorced.
talking about Epstein and Bill.
Yeah.
So like this was really what it is, but it's really it's like a massive pedophilia ring, and they're just like abducting kids. Like, if you don't know it, but
What are you talking about for Jeffrey
yeah,
Epstein?
Jeffrey Epstein, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I forgot what the word is called, but you can look into like Bohemian Grove and all that stuff, and just read about it. But like
Are those factual things or those?
no, the Bohemian
conspiracies?
Grove is a real thing. Look, you can look into that. Y'all look into it too. But basically, like there's actually a fact, and you probably hear about it later in life because it's actually getting a little bit more mainstream. But they say that if the older you are in the younger blood that you drink, like it might sound weird, then that actually allows you to live longer. So my hypothesis is that people are who are
I mean, is there science that's saying that also would back that idea up?
yes,
Is there?
for sure, yes.
I mean, I don't know.
I've looked
I've
into
never looked
this.
into it, so I have no clue.
I looked into it because I was just like I was diving down the rabbit hole and I came across all stuff and I was like, this, I'm gonna tell you the exact word, but I mean, look at it the other day during the AMVs or whatever the music video award ceremony was. Like Jay-Z tried to give Beyonce a glass of, they said it was like red wine or whatever, but some people were saying like it's blood of children. I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, some get into some deep stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, bro, don't cancel me, y'all.
I
Just
mean,
know
it's not
that.
something you would get canceled by, but people would be
Yeah. I'm not saying anything.
questioning your.
No, but it is if you look into Bohemian Grove, you look into I'm gonna look at the correct term of what this thing is. Hold on, let me show you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know too much about all that. I've never like thought about all that too much. For one, because it's like it's kind of difficult to do anything about it. Because if anything, it'd be on such a large scale that you as an individual, even you as a group, wouldn't be able to do anything for it or about it. You know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I guess I'm kind of jaded in my thoughts in terms of being able to help people.
Dang, I can't think of the exact word, but just look into it. I wish I give you more. I wish I give you more facts.
I know there's been conspiracies for years and years about celebrities and
like
and,
Pizzagate
and,
scandal and all that stuff.
and rich people and kids and blood rituals and all kinds of
look,
stuff. I mean, when people point out certain things, it does seem weird and odd. But like, I mean, I feel like you can always pick out and pull things and dissect them and make them into something.
Definitely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like,
I'm not saying it's not true or it is true or whatever.
Mhm.
I'm just questioning everything, you know, because
yeah, I agree with that 100%. But like, there's some news came out recently too about Andrew and Tristan Tate. They got arrested for what they said Jeffrey Epstein was doing was just trafficking people, women. You know what I'm saying? And now there's information coming out saying that the victims were actually lying. They lied, and they got arrested for nothing. Basically, they're basically free. But
they freed them.
then I don't think they're actually free just yet. I don't know. Yeah, so they're still going through all that. But like, I don't know. It's just it's wild what money can do for you.
Yeah,
Like,
it can do anything.
Like people who I'm pretty sure I know their stories. I've read some before. Like politicians' sons get into a car accident and kill somebody, and like they don't do any jail time at all.
Oh yeah. You see stuff about that all the time.
Exactly. So it's just like it's the same situation.
Happened with Bruce Jenner or Caitlyn Jenner,
Bruce,
whatever his or her name is.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm saying that because I don't know what they were. He was, she was. I have no clue at the time. You know, I can't remember. It's been a few years, but
one of his kids killed somebody in a car.
No,
accident?
he. Again, I don't know if it was he. He's a he, I guess. Fuck it.
Yeah.
He got a wreck, and he killed somebody.
I didn't even know that.
So yeah, none of that happened.
He didn't go to jail at all.
He didn't go to jail.
See.
But
and he's not even like that wealthy. Like think of like the Rothschilds, the Rockefeller, people like that who actually have like a lot of money. They could do things and essentially not get caught because they
could get caught and just get away with it.
Yeah, but yeah, they are exactly. That's the whole point of this right here. Is the discussion like, hey, money just gets you away with things.
Yeah, I mean that's super obvious. I mean,
So,
I guess it's obvious, but you would think people were really optimistic about their government and their people in like the higher positions.
Yeah.
That they'll do the right thing,
the right and just thing. Yeah,
that's not the case. I mean, you look at judges. A lot of times, there's been instances where judges will just. It was, I think, like 2 or 3. I don't know. It was a few. I believe they were working with a prison, and they were sentencing minors because they were getting kickbacks from the prison or from the juvenile detention center, whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were sentencing them so they would get kickbacks because, you know, the more people they put in there, they were getting more money. I mean, in the U.S., the prison system is a money-making machine. Like, it generates
They're all privately
tons
owned.
of money. Think about it. It's like modern-day slavery. they're just using free, essentially free. It's a
Housing.
free workforce
Yeah.
because they pay them, right? But it's like, I think like 70 cents, like it's some low number, like it's crazy, right? And then taxpayers will pay stuff for the prison system. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's weird. It's like taxpayers will pay, but then the prisoners will do things to generate money for the prisons that
Mhm.
we were taxed on, and they make money. Like it's just weird. Does it like it?
Yeah, everything is just smashed.
There's no logic there.
Yeah.
Same thing like a lot of times schools, especially universities that are like big into football programs, right? They'll tack on additional costs for your tuition or something, and it's
Yeah,
like,
like
oh,
athletic fee or something
yeah,
like that.
and they're building a facility, and it's like millions and millions, or whatever. But then you have the same happen for like taxpayers, right? So like, I don't know, like when Mercedes Benz was built, I don't know if this happened, but it probably did. A lot of times, the taxpayers in a city will have to pay a
Portion of the bill.
tax, essentially, and it'll contribute to the making of that stadium, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like,
Where do we profit?
Yeah, like what are they gaining in doing that? And it's like, oh, we're gonna generate, tourism or who knows what, some excuse to try to make it make sense.
Yeah, honestly, I think there could always be an excuse for everything that happens, which is kind of crazy. Like people who commit murder, like there's an opportunity for them to plead insane.
Well, yeah, but even when people plead insane from like stuff like murder, they're not gonna like get let
They're not gonna be
free.
exempt from the crime.
They're gonna get charged, and they're just gonna be in a different facility.
Yeah, true. But I'm just saying, like, there's just always just a way around everything to an extent. And yeah, like, man, yeah, I just hope that what happened in Ohio doesn't really affect people here in Georgia, like me and my family, to an extent. Like, because apparently the whole river, Ohio River, I don't know if the actual name of it. I mean, go through several states, and all that water is contaminated.
Yeah.
Like all that farmland, all that. Like whenever it does rain, all that smoke that went up from those chemicals, like the rain's gonna push it back down. So like, I don't know if it'll like land on your skin, will it burn you, or if it'll land on your house, will it melt your roof, will it like?
I mean, and
stuff like that.
A lot of stuff is long term too. You won't even realize that it's an issue until it's like 20 years.
Yep, I heard that those people
30 years. You know what I mean?
That company tried to provide everybody in that area $1,000.
That's what I was saying earlier. There was
Yeah.
like 25, like it was $1,000. It equaled out basically $1,000
Like per person.
something like that.
Yeah.
Some crazy number.
And
yeah.
some guy.
It was just
on
an insult,
Twitter,
really.
Yeah, big insult. And some guy on Twitter was tweeting like, "If you're in Ohio, don't sign anything. They're trying to just get you to do that now, so you can't, come back and get them like 10, 15 years down the line." Like, man, they just need to be some people need to be punished.
The
for
main
real.
again, we said this before in a different episode. It's the first episode. How accountability is like a big thing, right? In like society, like as individuals, I think one of the big problems is a lot of people lack accountability for things. But I think that applies to everyone, like corporations, politicians. You know what I mean? Because you look at these companies, for instance, we'll talk about like a hedge fund or something who's involved in the stock market, right? They manipulate things or do things that are illegal, and they'll get fined. We'll see 250 grand, right? To us as individuals, that's a lot of money, but to a company who's bringing in billions a year, it's a drop in the hat.
Yeah, they're adding that $250,000 to their money they're making.
So I'm saying it doesn't it makes sense. Like it's a business. It's like a
pyramid scheme.
It makes sense. No, it makes sense from a business perspective to do that. Like it's just an expense.
Yeah.
Right. It's like expense. You know what I mean? Like your employees, their expenses, right? The lights, all the utilities, everything. Those are expenses, right? And then if you can do something to make yourself a lot more money, in this case, something illegal, whatever, and get fined 250, right? It's just you just write it down as another expense, and then you profit still. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that's what a lot of times these companies are doing. Same thing, like the reason I brought that up is because this railroad thing, if they get fined or something, right, the amount of money they save by not keeping things up to like safety standards and like keeping things up to regulation,
Mm-hmm.
they've already profited. Like even after all this is said and done, it was a good business decision. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the
Nah,
same thing with cars, right? Vehicles, things that get recalled. They might realize something is wrong,
they're still going to produce them. They're going to
and,
still
and
sell
they're
them.
like, okay, this might kill some people, right? Whatever the case is, this is an extreme example, but it definitely has happened and will happen.
Mm-hmm.
But like, oh, this is a problem. It might cause an accident, which obviously might kill someone. And they're like, okay, what's the cost of, doing the recall, fixing everything, going back to the drawing board to create whatever else to make this work properly?
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, okay, the cost would be like this, right? And it's like, okay, what if we wait it out, see what actually happens to us in terms of like getting caught
Consequences, yeah.
and like, oh, we get fined, oh, we have to pay out these families who's like family get killed type stuff, you know what I mean? Oh, that's less than this. Let's just go this route.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, people definitely, companies do that all the time, like you said. Like, that was a good example. Like, I think a lot of people are aware, companies are aware when they sell a product that's defected, you know? And, yeah, I mean, America, I mean, it's founded on, like, the American dream, like making money. What's the word I'm looking for exactly? America's founded on
Capitalism.
capitalism. But really, the whole world like that to an extent now. Like, everyone's in it for, like, their own buck. Like, they're trying to just acquire as much as possible, which, I mean,
I think it would be so.
I'm trying to do the same thing, but I mean, I just don't want to break no rules. I'm not trying to go out and, like,
That's the thing. Everything.
you have to
The
break
people making
rules,
money, they're doing that. They're breaking rules. They're not. They don't
not
care.
caring about people's
And
life.
the thing is, too, the people who are already ahead to a certain point, they're able to break those rules even without the consequences. Like it's just a straight shot,
Yeah.
right? It's like an elevator, right? And the floors are the consequences. You know what I mean? You might not. You know what I mean? It's just you're just bypassing everything, and it's just straight,
What's up?
success or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if you're on I don't know, it's wild. I think everything is really intricate, and it's a lot deeper than people think. You know what I mean? In terms
I
of
agree
like,
100%.
in terms of
In terms of everything
keeping people in
in order.
order, but also like in their economic, like,
Level.
yeah.
Yeah, 'cause everyone has different socioeconomic status in their status level.
Yeah, so I mean,
no, I
so things are get done to keep you there, right? So
Mhm.
you have, oh, we're gonna defund public schools, right? Oh, we're gonna pay teachers less, right? And or we're gonna hire teachers with less credentials, right? So think about it. You are allowing morons. Again, this isn't always the case, but this is just an example, and it does happen for sure. They'll lower the credentials that someone needs to be a teacher in whatever area, right? So then you have someone who's essentially a moron teaching your children this or that, or they just don't care because they didn't have to earn the right credentials. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they earn
they
that
were
true
able to
position.
skirt by and do whatever, and they're now in a position to teach your children. And
To become a moron.
yeah, and they're not doing the correct job because they don't have the credentials that are actually needed to fulfill the requirements to teach a child appropriately. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
then it's like, what's the reasoning? Okay, well, it's to keep everyone dumb,
Mhm.
to keep everyone lower, to keep everyone not questioning things. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know.
That's
I mean,
what that's
if you
what
really
I think
think
sports
about
is about too.
what is,
I think sports is like that as well. Like, it keeps people from, like, rioting to an extent.
oh, you mean like
Like mass, like,
you mean like national, like
like NFL,
professional level?
Yeah, professional level.
Okay,
Like,
okay.
those are all there to, like, keep people from, like I said, it's like rioting, keeping people from, like, coming together for a bigger cause. Like, it's always about divide and conquer. Like, you have all these teams, all these sports, all these different things. Like, oh, I support them, and it's for here, this and that. Like, what if everyone came together and supported, like, one big cause? Like, if we're all on the same page for the same thing, like that.
Yeah.
Like, basically, that's how it is. Like, I seen a picture a while back. There's like the elite. They're playing a board game and have everyone beneath it like slaves, basically. and all of a sudden all we need to do is all stand up, and the whole game's all over with.
Yeah, I mean, everything we're saying seems very like conspiracy, like, ooh, there's reptile politicians. Like, no, it might sound like that, but if you really think about it and you really look into things, a lot of stuff doesn't make sense in terms of like why they're done that way. You know what I mean? And just different things.
No, I agree.
But yeah, I'm not ever saying, oh, the other
It-
presidents are reptiles from
you
different.
got me there right there for a second.
You never heard people say that?
I have, but I didn't think you would actually share that thought.
No,
I thought you would even entertain it at all.
I wouldn't.
But the Simpsons, they showed it.
Okay, they showed what? What is the Simpsons? Yeah, that's a weird thing too. Like people, like
Apparently,
I don't want to
Simpsons.
I don't want to discredit what I'm saying and what you're saying
Yeah.
by talking about things that are completely out there, right? Because let's just assume stuff like that. Then what?
No, honestly,
Right.
I think nowadays.
What you still have to attack things in a certain order, regardless of, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You actually got what I was saying there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did y'all? No, but yeah. But what I was gonna say was the creator of Simpsons is supposed to be a Freemason. Freemason is, if you don't know what that is, look it up. It's basically it's a group that are on the same page about certain things, certain agendas or whatnot. I'll describe it like that. And if you don't believe in the Freemasons, then I mean you shouldn't believe in your president.
So you bring up the Freemasons. I've heard about the Freemasons here and there, but I haven't researched it too much. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
For me, entertaining conspiracies that really might not have any basis in anything, or like there's no way to question them from a logical perspective, it's difficult for me to entertain. I'm not saying that's the case. I'm just saying I don't know about it, so I can't entertain what you're saying right now. I know a little bit, but I'm saying I haven't personally researched it enough or know enough about them to say anything. But my thing is, I'm saying if you like something, if it's a conspiracy or whatever, or really just not even a conspiracy, if it's an idea, right? I think it's good for there to be logic in that thinking, right? So like I said, for the teacher example, right? Say you want to dumb down the general population, right?
Yeah.
Logically, right? Say let's just assume that that's a goal for some entity or some government, right? They want to dumb down the population, right? What would they do? There's plenty of things they could do, right? You can introduce foods, right? That will dumb you down in whatever way, you know? They will introduce shows or entertainment that'll dumb you down in whatever way, right? They will introduce, teachers, people who will dumb you down in whatever way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think like if
a lot of variables go into it.
Yeah, but my point is like I'm not talking about conspiracies that are like that, like with pointless. Like you brought the reptile thing up because like I don't get it. Like what would that like? Just the conspiracy is there's reptile people controlling whatever. But I mean, let's assume that was the case. Like then what? Like you know what I mean? Like where's the logic? I don't get it. Like it's a big leap for me.
Yeah, I mean, there's something that I said I could go into deep. I can go into deeper, but I mean, sometimes I don't even think you want to entertain.
Well,
listening to an extent, and sometimes I feel like it's too far fetched for people to actually.
That's what I'm saying.
Comprehend, because I think personally, like to an extent, like the Matrix, that concept is real in terms of like people who just are like so blinded by reality.
I mean, yes, that is definitely factual, but not as literal as the movie, right?
I mean, I think to an extent, yeah.
To an extent, what?
I think that. I mean, how do I word it?
I mean, there are a lot of people who think we like live in some sort. I think they even said Elon Musk has said like we live like in some sort of, alternate reality created by someone else, something weird, right? But like, if that was the case, would that person not just be God? Like, are you not just saying you believe in God then at that point? I don't get it.
Yeah, maybe he was saying it to have people not believe in God.
I don't see how that would happen.
I don't know either. I don't know what his intentions slash thoughts were. But yeah, from my perspective, I would think that, hey, if we live in a complex world like the world we live in, like, that's why I'm so like that's why I believe in a creator. Like, I just feel like everything's so intertwined. Like, it's the body. Like, the body heals itself on its own. Like, you don't need to see a doctor. Like, both my toenails fell off my feet, big toes, and I had people in my family and even my partner was like, "Oh, you gotta go to the doctor. You gotta go to the doctor to get that sorted out." I'm like, "No, like, give it
I
a."
didn't. Who said they go to the doctor in the family?
Oh, I know
Somebody
Kira
said
said it.
that.
I'm pretty sure mom said something like that. Like, you need to get that sorted. You need to go get that looked at.
I don't know about that.
But basically, what I'm getting at is, like, the body heals itself. Like, everything's too intertwined for me to, like, not believe in the creator. And the reason why I say that is because, like you just said too about, like, what Elon said. It's just, I don't know. Sometimes life is almost as if, like, it's not even real. Like, it's kind of like, whoa, did that really just happen? Like, even with deja vu type stuff, it's like,
I think.
what's going on?
I mean, I don't know. Like, the whole concept of life and creation is wild.
It is so wild, honestly.
But
But here we go, even more wild.
no, there's levels, right? So think about. I like to think like humans, right, and animals are essentially machines, right?
Okay.
From a technological perspective, right? Meaning, okay, look at like I believe it's Boston Dynamics or maybe MIT or something like that. They have the robots that can like run and stuff like that. Have you seen those?
Mm-hmm.
And like they've had videos of them kicking them and they'll stand up or whatever, right?
Yep.
So there's like levels. So like you think about it, you have like a really basic robot
Like
or
a toaster.
machine, yeah, like a toaster, and then it goes up and you add components and you add different things, different functionality, right? So like you have, for instance, they have like screen covers or stuff that will heal themselves when they're scratched. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then you have, let's say, different things that can energize themselves with the help of solar. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's like, I think there's a possibility that humans are the culmination, right, of the advancement of technology in some universe or some realm. You know what I mean? Because we're just machines from that perspective. You know what I mean? Like our thoughts are just signals. It's like a computer, right? You have the computer, our brain that controls everything.
Yeah, the brain.
You have the
synapse,
heart
all
that does its own. Everything does its own job, and they all communicate with each other like a computer,
Mm-hmm.
right? And like you're saying, every little bit of something makes something work. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I mean, I just.
I just like to think about like that,
Mm-hmm.
just because I don't know. I think it's cool. That's really it.
No, I mean.
But it makes sense too, though. Like I said, they have robots now that are learning, like it's just there's AI that they're using with actual robot interface, like physical interfaces that are robots that look like people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And underneath it's like metal or whatever the components are, and then silicone on the outside, and they look like people, right? And they have speakers that talk, and then with the computer and everything that's like processing everything.
Yeah, so like a little bit like cloning to an extent, but the robots,
How's it cloning?
like, they can replicate someone's face, how they look, and put it into on a robot.
Well, I'm not talking about replicating. I'm just saying they're just making them look like a person, right?
Yeah.
So then it's like, what's the next step? The next step is improving on all of those, right? And then adding in additional functionality, right? So what would it be? Energy. We make our own energy. How do we make our own energy? By consuming food. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Consuming stuff. It's just a machine. We're just a machine. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't know if that connection was made.
No, I mean, I understand your perspective on it. definitely, um, yeah, I guess I understand, but yeah, the only thing I will say is like I think we were made in God's image. So like everything that you think, everything is how it's connected, how diverse it is because like that's how God is, and we were made in His image. So that's the way that we are. And what you're talking about like machine and stuff, I feel like yeah we are a machine to an extent in the way that we are, whether we um the way that we are from like from the core out. But I think in due time, we actually will become more like machines, like actual machines, in terms of.
I think no, I don't think that.
I mean, Elon Musk trying to get everyone to put a chip in his head so they
I
can connect
think
with the
I think
internet,
that would be
or
I
like
think that would,
prosthetic legs, or like they're doing like. I mean, a while back I heard about someone putting a pig heart,
okay, I think those are
a 3D
backwards.
heart into the body and stuff like
As
that.
a whole, again, that's assuming that we are machines, right? So like artificial arm, fingers, whatever, will never beat the real thing.
Never,
I mean, okay, I say never, but like in our current time period right
unless
now,
you don't have that.
but maybe like way into the future, somehow
Yeah.
you grow a new arm, right?
And if that was to happen, I think we would definitely be modified as humans genetically to be able to do that, and I don't think that's when we would not be natural anymore.
What do you mean natural?
Because you don't grow an arm now if you get cut it off.
My point,
Not a piccolo.
correct. My point is that I think that humans are an example of what humans can achieve in terms of technology, right?
Yes.
In my idea, in my mind, that's the idea I have, right? So again, robots are gonna evolve. I mean,
To try to be like us.
yeah. So like, what's the point when they make robots that look like you and talk? The point is to make them as human as possible, right? So what would be the last and final step to make a human? So I'm saying I think there's a possibility for technology to get to the point where people are being created.
Yeah. Well, time will tell.
I mean, yeah, but we won't be here.
Yeah,
Be
we
dead.
won't be over here.
But my point, you're talking about the arm thing. You don't grow a fake arm. You don't grow a prosthetic arm. So what were you saying by saying you won't be a human? I'm saying
if you were able to grow one.
you're not growing it, right? The technology is there to cause the creation of the growth of your new arm.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like
you
cells.
give them like a,
So like-
a steroid shot, and the inside the shot manipulates the DNA to somehow grow an extension of the arm.
Something. Yeah, like maybe like
Yeah.
say your finger's cut off, right? And it's just a clean cut, whatever it is, right? And you spray it and it just builds on cells up to a certain point.
Yeah.
And then those cells connect with the pre-existing cells. And they it's like they were always there.
Yeah, for real. Life is wild, man.
I mean, I don't know. I think it seems crazy if you're listening, and if it's something you've never thought of, it seems wild, and I sound like a crazy person. But I think if you really sit there and think about it, it's pretty logical to me. I don't know. I could be wrong. I could just be crazy.
I mean, you probably be crazy in someone's eyes. You could probably be right in somebody's eyes.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. So that's just how it is.
Yep.
Man, oh man, what an episode that was.
Yeah, we kind of all over the place a little bit, but
Yeah.
we're
Yeah, if we talk about anything today in today's episode that you don't know about, you never heard of, look it up. DUI. Do your own research. What's that?
You said it wrong. You said DUI. That's
Why?
driving under the influence.
Whoa, don't do that, y'all. Don't do that.
Do your DYOR.
DYOR. I don't know why I watched something earlier.
Yeah.
DYOR.
Like I said, this is a Circling Thoughts podcast. So
We just circling thoughts.
all
y'all.
we have is Circling Thoughts here. So I mean, we're kind of just feeding off each other, feeding off what someone might think. You
Mhm.
guys, yeah, I don't know what else to say about that.
The last thing I'll say real quick is I was talking to this guy today, or yesterday in the cafeteria, and he's this. So I coach Middle Georgia, and I got introduced to this kid. He's a freshman on the campus. And when I saw him earlier this year, I was like, "What's your New Year's resolution, man? What's up?" Like just trying to talk to him. He's like, "Man, I'm trying to lose weight." He's a bigger guy. He probably weighs about like 250, 300. Probably like 5'9", 5'8", short guy. So he's a fluffy guy. You know what I'm saying? But the reason why I'm talking about him for a second is because we've been working out lately. Because he said he wanted to lose weight for New Year's resolution, and we've been in the gym. But the other day after the gym, like randomly, we were at the cafeteria table, and he's talking to this girl when they were getting a drink of water, and I came back and they're talking about like a really deep topic about how he's like suffering from like anxiety and depression and all this other stuff. And I'm like, man, you didn't even tell me that. But I was just listening. I thought that, and I started giving him advice afterwards. And I was just thinking, like, really out there, people really do struggle with like their own thoughts a lot. So what I was telling him basically was try to break it down. Like everyone knows what they should and shouldn't do to an extent. I mean, I said this, I sound like a broken record at times to an extent, but if you are uncomfortable in your situation, it's up to you to change your own situation. Like no one's gonna come and necessarily help you because they're trying to help themselves. So just have that in mind that there are people out there who will help you, who will listen to you. And that's probably one of the biggest forms of help is having someone just listen to you. But also know that you got to do what you got to do. Like earlier, we were talking about like not breaking rules because I'm not trying to break rules. But hey, who knows? Maybe I might change. You know, I want to break some rules because I'm trying to get to a certain point in my life. I'm not talking about like going out and like
breaking a law, whatever. Yeah.
yeah. So we'll just know that everyone honestly gotta level up. You know what I'm saying? If not, you're gonna left behind.
Just to add on to that, like we were talking about earlier, right? How to dumb a population down. Again, that was just an example of something, right? Of a goal, and I talked about the ways that you would achieve that goal, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about dividing and conquer too, right? That's another thing. That stress and anxiety and everything that people are dealing with nowadays. I think there's a lot of studies nowadays, or in recent times, excuse me, that have talked about the increase in anxiety, the increase in depression, the increase in a lot of things in young adults and teenagers and everyone growing up now and living through this time period compared to years in the past. And again, if you think about it, it could just be something else, right? In terms of people wanting people to have their own internal battles and internal struggles, right? So if you are struggling with something, right, or you're dealing with something, whatever the case is, that's like your first priority. You know what I mean? Like you're just trying to survive at that point. So it's going to be difficult to do other things, to think about why things are a certain way, to challenge certain things. You know what I mean? It's going to be difficult for you to do any of that. That was just another thought I wanted to add to that.
That's a good thought. Yeah. I'll end it on that. I understood what you said, and I'm pretty sure they did as well. So I don't want to add anything else because I shared my ending. He shared his, and I think the way he ended it was good. Just take care of yourself in terms of
Well, I mean, I was
saying what you were saying. Yeah, you were saying don't focus like necessarily on yourself too much.
No, it's good.
They want you to focus on yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
They want you to focus on yourself. So try to find a way to not focus on yourself.
No. I'm not saying that. That's not what I said.
Well, that's what I'm adding a little bit.
Well,
that's what
you need to focus on yourself. And
yeah, you definitely
need to better yourself, right? But I'm saying there could be a reason that so many people are struggling today, right? And it's just a matter of thinking, why is that the case?
And I have a
what I mean?
thought as to what that is, but
I just said what I thought. It could be another form of manipulation by whoever for whatever reason.
Yeah,
right. Yeah. You never know. And again, it could be conspiracy. You know what I mean? But it's just a thought. You know what I mean? It's good to question things, right? You don't want to take everything and just assume it to be the truth, or like not question things at all in life, and just live your life assuming everything is black and white in terms of what you see and what you hear and what you read. You know what I mean? You have to, put your own thoughts and really think into things, right? And then be logical about it, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's it, I guess.
We
That's
know.
it for me.
Y'all know.
That's it. Episode 1.
That's a wrap.
Tell them the stuff.
Y'all listen up. Today's sponsor coming to you live is from. Nah, no sponsors. Listen though. Like, comment, subscribe, retweet, share. Give us some ideas, some topics. Give us some of your concerns, your anxieties, if you have any. Just share something that you want to talk about. And really, man, just have a great day. Have a great weekend. Peace.
Peace out.